Welcome to the Refractor Rants podcast, a podcast about all things sports cards. I'm one of your hosts, Tommy, aka TV Sports Cards, and I'm here with my good friend and co-host Max, also known as Cards Max, also known as I won't back out of deals that I verbally agree to online. Max, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. We have a great episode for you tonight. I'm so dialed in and locked in to talk about sports cards to you, my favorite listener.
This is like, think of our words as being put into a binder of knowledge that can be shared with all sports card collectors around the globe, Max. That's how I think of
Or or from a mass-produced factory and thrown into the ocean.
it.
Take your pick.
Hey, but if these mass-produced cards come in packs dinged up, you can send them back to us. We'll give them. We'll return fresh PSA
We'll
10
prep
versions of
them.
them.
We'll shout out Kurt's Card Care, and if it's and we'll gem it and tell PSA to their face about it.
Well, Max, I'm personally excited right now because last week you said the Wemby Black Prizm would sell for 150K, and now literally after, like right after we posted the episode, it got pulled and graded as a PSA 10. So now I think the Wemby Black, this could be a good clip for you,
Yeah, it's gonna
depending on what
be.
it sells
That's
for.
gonna look so bad because it's definitely gonna be worth more than 150K. I'm gonna. I don't know. I mean, it makes sense, but also doesn't make sense. I'm just trying to math the math.
Just try, we gave you props for doing the math, Max, but I think it'll probably sell closer to like 400K. I'm thinking.
Yeah, just because that's just how hype works. And
Yeah.
granted, Mr. Wembanyama on not a sports analysis podcast has lived up to the hype, but that's just a lot of money for a basketball card. I was enlightened to the stat the other day that of all 2023 sports cards of the year 2023 and sold between January 2023 and December 2023, there is not a single sale that eclipsed above $36,000.
What was the high card?
Ethan Salas Bowman Chrome Super Refractor Auto at 36,000.
Damn. Well, yeah, I feel like the caveat there is that like a lot of these 2023 quote unquote products are now coming out in 2024, like Topps
NBA
Dynasty.
and NFL Prism, yes. But outside of that, the point stands that modern cards aren't really producing the value that the chases would imply.
Well, I'm interested to see what this Bronny James Super Refractor goes for. I feel like Topps is going to be setting itself up for almost too many cards in a row where they've hyped them up as the best cards of all time, aka the Tom Brady Bowman, the LeBron James Bronny James duel. Like they're not going to hit the mark on what the hype has been. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do. At least Heritage Baseball is coming out soon, and that looks sick. I'll give them that. Enough with the bullshit. What have you been up to? I saw you were out and about this weekend. Obviously, I was living vicariously through you a little bit, as always. When you're just everyone's favorite person to take a picture with at a card show these days, Max, and I love it.
No, that's not true. But you can live vicariously through me because sometimes they say that you're a little bitch who doesn't go to card shows. But that aside, I was at the Philly card show this weekend. I was there from Friday to Saturday. I tried going to the Bay Area card show on Sunday, but daylight savings and having too little sleep just killed me and made it so that I wasn't able to get up and attend. Granted, if it were a Saturday, I probably would have done it, but going to a Sunday show, going to a day two of a show at 11 and getting there at 12, or maybe, getting there at 11, I can make excuses all I want, but the vibes weren't feeling good when I was jumping to and from Spirit and Frontier flights. But the Philly show itself was great. I always have a good time. I picked up some cool baseball cards, including a Fernando Tatis Red Ink, a Fernando Tatis Memorial Day camo out of 25 flagship rookie, the triple SSP non-logo man of Bo Bichette, Luis Robert, and Yodor Alvarez, card number 392 from Series 2. That was one of the most interesting flagship SSPs that's ever been produced. Yeah, you gotta give it its props. It's an SSSP. I was set up at the show, which is something that you usually don't see me do. You usually don't see me set up. You usually see me wheeling and dealing and hustling and bustling and, you know, passing and dashing, whatever rhyme you want to use is how I tackle these card shows. But this time I was set up at a table and I had a good time. I was set up with, Wetzel's Cards, who I split the booth with, and my friend Tyler. But yeah, I'm at the booth. It was like this kind of like innie, like kind of U-shaped booth. It wasn't like a traditional like L booth or just like a traditional table outright. So people had to walk in order to see my table and showcase, which is interesting. But it invited a lot of deals with people that I've already had done deals with, but it didn't get a lot of new customers, which is interesting in my opinion. I think it's interesting.
Mhm.
But the show was busy. One of my favorite theories about shows is if autograph guests actually results in increased card sales. The theory is the more people you have in the door, the more people buy cards. The more, even if they're just standing in the line waiting to get an autograph, it still is conductive to the show. And I strongly disagree with that.
So you think the theory is actually the inverse of that, where
I
the
think the
more
theory is the
people.
inverse. If they are, no, I think it drives traffic into the show, but I don't think it drives card buyers.
Yeah.
I don't, especially once you're at $100 plus a card. There's a lot of people that carry more about someone signing their name than they do a piece of cardboard, and that's just the world we live in 2024.
Have you ever played that game where you, like, bring a bunch of base cards of the guy who's signing autographs to try to sell base cards for, like, $1 instead of 10 cents? Is that a game you've ever played?
No, I don't play that game, baby.
That's an old head game. That's, like, a game that the old dealers will have, like, a stack of base cards of, like, a random dude signing autographs just in case.
It's kind of
Um,
smart.
well, Max, you were in Philly. We have a lot of Philly friends. Did you see any of the homies out there? I saw that Alex Saratoga Labs was set up, and there was a lot of publicity around him working the PWCC booth.
Yeah, I had a good weekend with Alex. He stopped by the booth and we had a good chat. I had some. Oh, we saw former guest Ryan Philly Cards at the show. I talked to him a good bit. I saw him on I was heading to my flight flying out of Philly. He was incidentally on a flight out of his own, so that was fun bumping into him.
What was he up
Um,
to?
uh, I think he was flying with his girlfriend to Puerto Rico, something like that.
Good for him. Good for him.
Yeah, good for him.
You didn't see Delco? Was Delco not floating around?
Yeah, I did see Alex. I briefly caught up with him, talked about the Michael Vick refractor I just sold him and how it's sitting in his collection. I cards with him, and then I moved on. I had a lot of fun in the show. I will say that. I don't know. I always try to clamor with some vintage dealers. I don't have too many stories this time. I know it's funny. I told myself before the show, my two biggest vintage cards right now are a Jackie Leaf BVG2 1948 and a PSA 3 Sovereign Back T206 Bat Off Ty Cobb. And I told myself, if I can't sell these at the Philly show, it's a skill issue and it's a me problem. I'm going to cut myself a little bit of slack given my booth position, and I was close to some deals on retail buyers on those cards, but they went unsold, and I will sling them in for the Dallas card show, and that should be fun.
Yeah, because I remember Philly's always a vintage show for you, so I was gonna ask about that. But what show was that? I mean, like the National in Atlantic City had a lot of those little U-shaped things where you had to walk in. Got so crowded because you got like two people wearing backpacks. There's no space for anyone else to walk in and like explore the cards. You, Max, just for the listeners' knowledge and for my own too, when you're setting up right now, you're not bringing like any sort of two-row boxes. You're strictly showcase guy. You strictly got showcase cards, right?
Yeah, strictly showcase spot guy. I bought my first showcases for in person this weekend, or not this weekend, but to personally own showcases because I really rarely ever set up locally. I bought myself a price gun and some team bags off Amazon so that I'm always armed and prepared, which is something that again I like to be prepared, but I'm usually not the biggest guy on stickering cards.
What's the philosophy there? You feel like people the stickering at least gives someone to start, or
Yeah,
do you not even
at the
want to
very
talk
least,
about
it invites. I go back and forth because I feel like someone making the approach to ask makes things easier.
it? Mhm.
But at the same time, I know some people are shy or may not want to, or just want to get a sense of where the price is to begin with. Or if they see something that they think is the good deal, they're going to immediately jump. So there's all different aspects of that that are important. And I think I my biggest gripe with stickering is that I obviously sell online the most. I just hate taking a card out of his bag, taking a picture, putting it back in the bag. The seal is worse or destroyed. And now instead of presenting my card the way it is, I'm presenting it in this like raggedy plastic rag, which is raggedy and a rag.
Mr. Efficiency over here, always worried about how long it's going to take him to take photos for his eBay listings.
It's both the logistics of it as well as just the presentation in the case. Also, when you have most bags on your card, the card doesn't refract or shine as well as with if it's just without a bag. So that's also partly why I'm partial to it.
True. What are your tips for taking photos for eBay Max? I don't know if we've ever actually talked about this. Maybe with Logan, like way back in the
Use
day.
use 2 lamps and use auto brightness on your phone.
Did you buy anything in Philly? It seems like it was a tough go of it on the selling side of things, but how are the
Uh,
buys?
the selling side of it was good enough. I just didn't have any absolute monster killer diddly squat combustive sales. The buying was just a lot of small deals. I think I gave the highlights in the beginning of the show in
Mhm.
that it was some fun Tatis red inks. It was
Mhm.
a fun Tatis camo. It was the Ultra SSP. I bought a LeBron green optic that quickly went in and out of my hands.
Green
Um,
Optic, the randomest parallel out there,
green optic to 5, which is not a gold.
and it is not a Green Prism unnumbered retail parallel.
Absolutely not.
No, the real ones. No, there was one parallel that I learned about for the first time this week, Max, which was the 2014 gold foils from 2014.
Oh,
Can you
stop.
educate
We've talked about
educate
this
me?
so many times. This is a you problem. I have told you personally about this card so many times. It's the
Well,
Power
tell
Producers from 2014. It's the limited code, and where if you redeemed it, you got the full set. And there were only about 75 copies of the set, and who knows how many were redeemed successfully.
so you had to. It was a whole set thing. It wasn't a player thing.
Okay. When you opened some 2014 tops, you got a code, and the code, or one every 10 packs, you might have gotten a code, and the code could have been like 10% off your next tops pack, or it could have been a trip to the home run derby, or it could have been a complete 2014 set of tops, serial number to 75, and of these power producer parallels. And that
See,
is the gold foil is the parallel that you're referring to of this power producer.
I gotta give credit where credit's due here to Ben Burnham for posting his Xander Bogaerts rookie gold foil from 2014. So that's what sparked the conversation. Sorry for having to educate me again for the third time, maybe Max.
Yeah,
But
apology not accepted. No,
well,
I'm kidding, but, no, that's just some common education for, again, people with doctorates and PhDs of 2014 tops know that's cold.
yeah, this is full dissertations have been written about this set, multiple dissertations, I think.
Multiple.
I wonder if they'll ever do anything like that again with the complete sets, because I know that now they do like complete set variations just in normal complete sets they sell. I don't think anyone really likes that much. I don't think there's very much hype for that at all. I know in 2006 they did something with like blue parallel sets that like apparently only one was redeemed potentially out there. I know they do the home run derby cards are cool, like the home run challenge cards where you can enter to win a whatever. But I feel like
Imagine
they
if
should
there were
do
still,
autos.
Twitter blue refractors out of 3 from Bowman.
What? What did you just say? Out of 3 blue refractors?
Oh my god. You so don't know ball. 2016 Bowman Chrome Blue Bowman First Autos out of 3, Twitter blue.
Twitter blue?
Twitter blue, given out on Twitter,
Wait,
individually.
is this real life?
Yeah, it's like one of Juan Soto's best cards.
What?
Dude, come on, man.
Dude, wait, give me
I
at
think you
least a
now need to,
little
like,
clip here.
survey the podcast audience of, the average education level of tops and Bowman parallels.
I guess that I just had to I got my
It's like a
teacher in
light
Cards
blue.
U just demoted me.
The last sale of Juan Soto's Bowman Chrome Twitter Blue Refractor autograph out of 3. This is his first Bowman. It was January 25th, 2024, and it was for $27,600.
So how did someone get this card?
That I don't recall, not out of, lack of information, just out of not being able to recall it offhand. I don't there was some contest or something like that, and they were giving out, Tommy, I just sent you a picture through iMessage just so that you can visualize. It's the color of, like, the Twitter bird, and these are out of 3.
Damn. That's kind of wild. That's sick. I
Are
didn't
there any
realize
other
that.
parallels that I need to educate on?
I mean, probably, but not right now, I don't think.
We're
These
gonna
ones.
quote our former podcast guest, Mr. Eric Whiteback. Ben said on Twitter on May 18th, 2023, Quote, in 2015 and 2016, Topps did a promotion to give away some of the rarest, all caps, Bowman Chrome cards ever, all caps, made, dot, dot, dot. As part of various contests run through the at Bowman Cards Twitter account, Topps gave away packs of, quote, Twitter Blue Refractors, unquote, paragraph indent. These packs were only available, all caps, through the Twitter promotion. They contained 9 base cards numbered to 10 and 1 autograph numbered to 3. Last year, this was written in 2023. Last year, a Juan Soto Twitter Blue Refractor autograph to 3 sold at auction for $132,000. Not a bad payday just for winning a Twitter giveaway. RT to ask at Topps to bring this promotion back. Prayer emoji hands.
You should win an Oscar for your reading of this Eric Whiteback tweet. For the first time in a bit, I got a little fun story, and I was hoping to tell Max this story kind of firsthand in the podcast, but we'll pretend like this is the first time Max is hearing this. But my girlfriend's dad, yes, here comes the Tommy has a girlfriend jokes, blah blah blah. My girlfriend's dad, I got him that Mickey Mantle graded last year. You know, he's hyped about it. He has a friend who hit him up and was like, "Hey, I saw that I have." Just in casual conversation was like, oh yeah, like I think I have some basketball cards that are worth something. I saw there was a big sale of a Pete Maravich rookie card and I have like a bunch of those. Like I might have some money here. And Abby's dad obviously was like, hey, you should talk to Tommy about it. He knows cards, etc. So I got a text and he's like, hey, I'd love to talk on the phone. I hop on the phone with this guy. We chatted up for like 30 minutes about how he pulled all these cards back in the day in like the 60s and 70s. He has basically like 67 to 73. He has a lot of basketball and baseball cards. So, the baseball sets from that era, not the lowest print runs ever, but still some good value in the big names and high grades. He's kept them in good condition. Mainly he lives in Florida, which means Max is within driving distance of this guy. And he is very interested in happily compensating someone to help him monetize these cards. So this is a dude that you're looking at like all the tall boy Topps basketball sets, all those goated early NBA guys, and then also, all the big names from like 67 through 72 Topps baseball. Max, I know you haven't gone deep on vintage basketball before, but I'm hoping to maybe orchestrate a deal here where Cards Max can maybe take vintage basketball 101 or 102 in the coming weeks. What are your thoughts, Max, having looked at these pictures yourself? I know that you aren't always as confident with yourself in terms of grading vintage.
It has nothing to do with confidence, more to do with assessing value. And I know when cards are ungraded, you have a much wider spectrum of what something is actually worth. But I am looking forward to investigating this. I am looking forward to doing my research. It is going to be exciting, and I'm ready.
Well, we'll update the people on this as it goes, but just wanted to tease this out that there could be a little Cards Max adventure here set up. Excited to see how this goes. Just wanted to throw that out there, tease the people. Maybe I'll post some pictures of what these cards look like on our social media feeds this week. But love to see that. But Max, I don't think we have a ton to talk about other than that. I mean, we don't really want to touch Jeff Wilson, right? We don't want to touch that.
Yeah, Cards HQ is going great right now, and I'm happy for the store.
Well, I did see one big sale on Golden, of course, this week. Or I think it was the same auction as the other week when we were talking about, but there was a PSA 7 of a 2009 Topps Chrome Steph Gold Refractor out of 50 sold for $85,000. And I think you'll be hard pressed to find any modern sports card in a PSA 7 selling for $85,000. So just wanted to throw that out there. I love seeing the Steph rookie sales. The Topps Chrome, especially the Gold Refractor, gets the premium. Apparently, these 2009 Topps basketball sets, these boxes were ripped, I guess, by a ton of like random employees of NBA teams who didn't know things about cards. So there's a lot of assuming that the Topps Chrome Superfractor of the Steph is just never
That's
going to
my
be
favorite anecdote is about the Steph Curry is that NBA execs were given boxes and threw the cards out.
So it's highly likely that the Steph Curry Superfractor is just in a landfill somewhere. So you got to love that as a card collector. I mean, especially with the Wemby Black being pulled, it's like, how has the Luka not been pulled yet? The Luka Black 101 hasn't been pulled, but the Wemby gets pulled within like months of the product getting out. It's just one of the best little things about cards that I just love. It's just the lore of the missing cards. Like I know the Evan Longoria Bowman Chrome.
Yeah, Tommy, have you heard of the Kylian Mbappe gold vinyl out of 5 uncovering?
No, I'm shocked I haven't read an Eric Whiteback quote about this one, but
Yeah,
educate me.
I'm going to butcher the story, but 2018 World Cup Prism has Kylian Mbappe's first card in a France kit. His normal rookies are in 2017, and his 2018 World Cup Prism is not a rookie, but people do acclaim the card, give a claim to the card because he's in a France uniform. And I know World Cup Prism in general is something that's more internationally distributed, even though stickers are king for World Cup product for the World Cup event, and that they'll always try to, kids will do whatever to try and fill their sticker books to get every sticker of every player, and that's kind of a cool thing that the world does and what Panini does. But the story that I recall was that some like mom or something like that, some parent was from Russia and traveled to the United States and bought like her son and her son's friend some packs of World Cup Prism to bring back to Russia. And I think this was uncovered in like 2020, 2021, something like that. It was surfaced or found that this Mbappe gold vinyl out of 10 or gold vinyl out of 5, I think, is just sitting in a binder with a bunch of other base cards. And I think the person was cashed out by a collector for like, I think a few hundred grand,
Jeez. I mean,
or
well
maybe there's
deserved.
a few tens of thousands of grand. I don't know the exact valuation of the car, but yeah, brought it back to the kids in Russia. It's sitting in a binder for probably 3, 4, 5 years. Old
That's sick.
vinyl. Yeah.
Well, listeners of this podcast, feel free to DM me and Max this week your favorite lost cards that have been
Or
lost.
just favorite card, yeah, card knowledge bombs that me or Tommy won't know. Bonus points if it's modern, because there's a lot of vintage holes in our armor. But if
Yeah.
there's a modern card bit that you think me or Tommy don't know, especially if it pertains to tops, like the more interesting of a niche that, I mean, that's why I was chastising Tommy. I would expect him to know gold power player. I might be butchering if it's power players, but I know it was some contest in 2014 where you got a serial number set at a 75 if you won, and that was one of the 3 possible prizes. I was more chastising Tommy on that, given his knowledge of flagship rather than his Bowman Chrome knowledge of Twitter Blue refractors out of 3, which is prospects, and Tommy doesn't know as much.
Well, I appreciate you being nice to me, Max. Before we go, I definitely DM us these cards of lore. Before we go into deals of the week, Max, there's one thing that I want to bring up, which is last week we spent a lot of time talking about this Albert Pujols 2005 Topps Chrome Superfractor, the lore of it being the first Topps Chrome Superfractor of Albert Pujols and how it went for $17,000. We put out this episode on YouTube. We got a very interesting comment on the YouTube video. I'm going to read it verbatim. And this is from @Cards for the Long Run. And I think you'll see why this guy has this name as I read this. But he says, I was the underbidder on the Pool Superfractor. If I had had the extra cash laying around, I would have pushed the bid further because I think it was worth it. In my opinion, this card is the 2000s equivalent of the Precious Metal Gem Master 1 of 1. Like if the Griffey version of this card, parentheses, if he had had a Mariners uniform, which he didn't, close parentheses, was available, and like I said, Mariners jersey, I think it's an equal card to the Gem Master. Even if the price wasn't the same now, they will converge in the long run, in my opinion. The pools for 17K will go down as one of the biggest steals of the year. It is Pool's best card, including rookies, and I know big Pujols collectors who would agree. He's a top 30 player all time, and you have a chance to land his best card, which also happens to be a card that is incredibly significant for the hobby in general. No brainer. Can't believe it ended at 17K, never expected to be the underbidder at 13K. Pools is very, very underpriced in general right now as well. He has less than 200 Superfractors released across all of his playing days. His first Superfractor auto was not until 2015, which means he has no supers issued during his first decade in Cardinals uniforms with his signature on it. Pool's supers, especially from the years he played for the Cardinals, are the cards to own. So that was a pretty interesting comment. We don't usually get stuff like this on our videos, but Max, I mean, pretty good points made there. It's interesting to hear that the pool is collecting, like the super collector community of pools sees this as like his best card, even when you have, you famously traded that Albert Pujols Bowman Chrome auto refractor from his rookie year. for a pretty good chunk of change. So I don't know. What did you think from that comment, Max?
Uh, Something's worth whatever they're willing to pay for it, and if the Superfractor and Bowman and Albert Pujols community deem that a card worth value, then it is a card worth value, and that's indisputable. And I respect the stance on it being first year Superfractors.
Sick. Well, with that, I think it's time to go on to deals of the week, Max. Do you want me to start, or do you want to start?
Yeah, this is just more of an interesting. I mean, it's almost the easiest undisputable deal that I think I've ever had. This was on March 6th. I've been buying some NBA Prism on the DL a little bit, and Tommy's confused. Yeah, that's how on the DL I've been doing it. And I bought an Osar Thompson Blue Ice Raw at an eBay auction for $255 on March 6th. Yeah, for one of the first times ever, and PSA has done this for only a few products. For I think 2023 Bowman Chrome and 2023 Bowman Draft. For some of their top breakers, the big breakers have broke product at PSA, and PSA has graded it for the same day for free for certain types of cards for that product. So I know Backyard Breaks and maybe others, but I know Backyard Breaks was great, was at PSA on site ripping Prism, the Prism NBA, and I think all Wembanyama's pulled, and I think all rookie color, and I think all gold, something like that, were graded on the spot for $0 to the customer. So let's keep in mind, I bought a raw Asar Thompson Blue Ice for $255. Having cards this, and not to say low end, but usually the only cards graded on release day or close to release day or release week are cards that are worth like a few $1,000s. So having a card worth a few $100 graded this early is not a thing. So I bought my raw for $255. A PSA 10, the exact same card, that same night, ended at auction and was won by me for $305.
Damn.
So I won the PSA 10 of the exact card for $50 more than what I had bought the card for raw, and for only a 19% increase in or premium on what a PSA 10 did over raw. So that's a pretty undisputable deal of the week.
That's sick. I'm happy for you. That's
I
sick.
don't think
Even though
that's ever happened. So like I've heard of like it being like below 2x, because usually it's a 2.5x and for new product, maybe lower, but I definitely am not matching last comp on this one, baby.
I am the last comp. I love to see
Yeah,
it.
I'm not paying more. I'm not selling for $50 more than raw.
Can you pull up any of your? Wait, I sold a card on eBay, and I want to hear some of your low end sales of the week.
I don't.
Because
I actually delisted all my low end eBay. I'm going to send it to consignment and turning it into cash.
Are you allowed to say who you send it to for consignment?
Yeah, I'm sending it to Card Show Finds, my friend Tyler, who I was set up with at Philly. I don't know how proactively he does whatnot consignments, but if you want to see my inventory, my eBay store go up for $1 auctions, that's going to be a lot of fun for you. And we all know my case is numbered parallels. Numbered parallels are fun.
I know you hate on me 7-day auctioning cards on eBay, but I actually had a big win on a card that I 7-day auctioned. It was a 2005 Topps Rookie Cup Chrome Refractor out of 15 of Eric Karros. I don't know who the fuck Eric Karros is. I bought this, I think, at a show randomly. I don't know where I bought this, honestly, but I saw it in my bind. I was in my Gold Cup binder. I'm like, it's a Dodgers card. It's not even from the year that the card, it's a reprint of the card. They obviously didn't have the cards with the 1993 Topps design. So it's like they didn't have Topps Chrome in 1993. So it is like the first Topps Chrome version of this card, but it's still a reprint. I do love the 2005 Topps Rookie Cup set because it did have these really nice refractors. These refractors are like the nicest refractors that I've seen in terms of just color. But I 7-day auctioned it and I got $37 at auction with 9 bids. Pretty random for a card of a guy I've never heard of and a set that is like pretty random. But I think there are some guys out there who are collecting the set pretty hard. But that's a rare win, Max, for that 7-day auction. Like you never know when this card might have 2 guys who really want it.
How hard do you even collect, baby?
Not hard enough, clearly. Let me run through my eBay buys of the week real quick. I bought a Barry Zito 2009 Topps Chrome Blue Refractor for $3, free shipping. Man, I bought 3 different Corbin Carroll Rookie Cup Golds out of 2024 for like a total of $25. I think that'll be fine. I'll probably trade some of those away. I bought a Blue Wave Patrick Wisdom Rookie Cup from Topps Chrome
Ooh, that's
for,
fun.
for 99 cents plus $2 shipping. Where are you at, Cubs fans? Blue Wave Team Color Match, Topps Chrome for under $5 shipped. Get the fuck out of here. But I can't just keep talking about the same shit, the same cards. I'm buying the same stuff most weeks. I did make a couple good trades. I traded you'll love this. You're just gonna like love how random this trade was. I traded a base Andre Iguodala Topps Chrome rookie card, just base Topps Chrome, for a Brandon Crawford 2023 Hyper Refractor, or whatever they call it, Prism Refractor in Topps Chrome, and a random X Factor of a Giants player. So a quick $1 card for a 2 50-cent cards trade. You gotta love that shit. I traded. What else did I trade? I had made like 8 PWE trades in the last week, which is pretty ridiculous. I traded with a guy named @Jordans_cards. He traded me a lot of Giants cards that included 3 foil board complete set parallels, a few Bowman Chrome Sapphire cards of random Giants players, a bunch of random Giants parallels for just like a boatload of random Cardinals cards that I had, all parallels and good stuff. Like some of the highlights of it were like a Paul Goldschmidt gold out of 2023 from last year's flagship. I traded him like an Adam Wainwright rainbow foil, like a bunch of random relics that I had laying around of Cardinals guys. But you got to love it when you find a team collector that has a lot of the cards of your team, and then he has a lot of, and you have a lot of cards of his team, and you can just swap like 12 different random parallels for his 12 different random parallels. That's the sort of shit I live for, Max. I know it bores you because you're scrolling on eBay trying to put in your snipe for the week, but
No, I'm not eBay sniping. I'm listening to all of your trades.
you don't really trade these days, Max. I never hear about you trading anymore.
I really only trade unless it's a necessity. I have love speech in my trades, and I don't want anyone to lose, including you, Tommy. That was just a lot of low end for my puny little brain. I'm sorry. I love that the collecting is being loved. I'll say that. But
All I'm gonna say is the hobby is alive, Max. Tommy can make 50
I
cent
know
card
that was the
trades.
thesis that I absorbed.
Thank you. Well,
I
I
do
think we
care
gave
about
the
what you have to
people.
say. I didn't mean to neglect that.
No. This is not you shitting on my Buster Posey power rankings, which I forgot I was gonna bring out my top 5 women cards for International Women's Day, Max, but I forgot about that, so I might need to bring that up next week. Dude, Tom TV's top 5 women cards in his PC. That might have to be a next week thing.
We love women on this podcast.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Well, Max, you got any parting words for the people? Any final little bits you want to throw out there?
Why would anyone, let alone multiple people, schedule 7 massive card shows across 2 weekends? Doesn't make sense. Why is Philly, Del Mar, West Palm Beach, and Nashville all in one weekend, and Dallas, Chicago, and Phoenix all in another weekend? Those are all shows I would probably travel to. But I would spend my money, but you don't you want to compete and try to get, oh, I'm a local show, I'm going to get people no matter what. Yeah, that's sure. But there's some big money that's going to clear out those dealers, and those dealers aren't going to be cleared out.
And please, for the love of God, stop scheduling the Chicago Sports Spectacular on St. Patrick's Day weekend. Please, God. And with that, Max, we'll see you guys next week.